couldn't get my story out, couldn't get what I was out from it, and wrote a book. It's my autobiography. It's called The Last Free Man in America, Meets the Synthetics of Version. This is my answer to the New World Order and global economy, an M60 and a smile on my face. He said, Galbraith, why are you holding that M60 on the front cover of your book? I said, because I'm a serious man. I was standing in courtroom the other day with the heaviest duty Commonwealth attorney in the state, Ray Larson, over in Fayette County. He said, Gatewood, when you going to get off that marijuana kick? And I said, marijuana kick? You think I'm on a marijuana kick, Ray? He says, well, sure. And I said, I'm not on a marijuana kick. I don't stand for marijuana out here. I stand for the threshold, Ray. Just exactly when I get to shoot your ass when you come across my threshold. That's where it's at. You don't get to come across my threshold for just any reason, right? And you better be sure I agree with the reason that you think you're coming across on. Because if I don't, I'm going to take it in my own hands. So really, I'm out here for the threshold question. Just exactly when does the New World Order get to come across your threshold? And what are you going to do about that as an American? For my lifetime, I've taken the pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands. There's a lot of people trying to set policy in this country right now who've never said the pledge of allegiance to the flag. They're not warm and fuzzy about you, your children, or your grandchildren. They don't give a rat's ass about the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. So I wrote this book, and I revamped it several years ago and added a couple of chapters. It has a chapter in it now on how to beat an addiction of any drug out there. How many people here know people with drug addiction problems, pill problems? Sure. You know, let me explain that just a little bit. Well, let me get to that just a second. I wrote this book in 2004, revamped it, added a chapter on addiction in 2007. I gave it to Brereton Jones, ex-governor, one day. And I said, Governor, I said, you might like this. He said, Gatewood, it's at 1:30 in the afternoon. He said, Gatewood, I'll read it over the holidays, get back to you in a month or so. I said, fine, Governor. 10 o'clock the next morning, he calls me. He said, Gatewood. He said, I sat down at 9 o'clock last night, take a look at the pictures, finished reading it at 4:30 this morning. He said, I don't know if you've ever been governor or not, but whoever does ought to really take a look at what you're saying in there, because I think you do a great deal for the state. I said, thank you, Governor. Do you mind if I use your words publicly? He said, no, I don't mind at all. So about 2 hours later, an 18-year-old girl from Middlesbrough called me. Said, Mr. Galbraith, I read your book twice last week. Said, I'd like you to get together a group of me and my girlfriends to talk about some things. I said, fine, I'd like to do that. And we did. Had a good conversation. It was #1 seller at Joseph Best for 11 straight weeks. So I have these down here for you all. It's free. I'm giving them out as part of the campaign. I'd like to put a petition in it, ask y'all to give me some signatures, and then mail them in to me. You know, those of you who do that, when you do that, you know, include a little note saying I'd like to do something else, or, you know, if one petition isn't enough for you, make copies of it and you know, get them out to your friends, okay? Now, let me explain addiction to you all. I'm a criminal defense attorney. My caseload is based upon pills, crack cocaine, methamphetamine, all that stuff. I've done a lot of the drugs out there to do. I never injected myself in anything because I didn't need them. And over, you know, I've done all the psychedelics. I never did the uppers and the downers. You know, I like the psychedelics. And, you know, peyote, mescaline, LSD, you know, marijuana. I'm on the bed. So, what addiction is how many of y'all know people who've done 36 or 90-day programs and still have a problem? Now, let me tell you why that is. When you do an addictive drug, your brain has 6 receptor sites in it. 4 of them whose only job it is to interlock with an active ingredient, a molecule, in one of the addictive substances. So let's say I do some methadone, which is the hardest of all to break. Or let's say I do this cocaine. A molecule of that drug attaches itself to the receptor site in my brain and it won't go away. And its presence there creates a craving for the drug and a memory of craving the drug and the rush and what all the hell thing's about. Psychologically, it sponsors all that stuff. The drug I take does not contain the high. These drugs don't contain any high. What they do is they get your body to release its own chemicals called peptides, serotonin, endorphin, and dopamines. Your pleasure chemicals, your pain relief chemicals. And it sponsors your body to release those things, and you feel the rush. Ah, man, yeah. You know, oh, that felt good. You know, that's the molecule up there is just saying, yeah, man, that's good, that's good. You know, and so you do a little more, and it mines that reservoir a little deeper. And so the next time you need to do a little more drugs to make sure it gets deep enough into that reservoir and get your body to do it. After a while, your body loses its ability to naturally access those pain relief and pleasure chemicals. So you've got to have the drug. In your most normal century, emotionally, you cannot reach it anymore. You've got to have the drug. And so when you're without the drug, your body's not releasing the pain chemicals. So that's what withdrawal is. And for every year of addiction, it takes 6 months to a year for your body to replenish the ability to naturally access your pain relief and pleasure chemicals. And that molecules still up there on the brain reminding you every day of every hour of every minute. That's the monkey on your back. Chattering in your brain the whole time, that brain chatter, which makes it so difficult. And so that's why the 30, 60, 90-day programs don't work. Because all you do is you kind of sublimate some of your body's, withdrawal symptoms. They kind of subside a little bit, but you always have the craving, and you always are going through withdrawal. I know people who've been off heroin 20 years still crave the drug. There is a drug that, with one 24-hour treatment, removes the molecule off of the brain and immediately replenishes your body's ability to access the peptides. It's called Iboga, I-B-O-G-A. There's a chapter in my book on it. There's a number in my book that people could call. I don't know if it's still operative or not. But it's called Iboga. It's ibogaine. It is the shavings of a root bark out of Africa. The natives use it as a sacrament. They use it to send to adolescence into adulthood, childhood passage ritual. And it puts people into a slight trance, and it's a hallucinogen. And some of them feel like they bonded with their ancestors at the end of it. But I sat with a lady with a $200 a day, 3-year OxyContin habit. I've seen her go through, time after time, trying to go through treatment programs, couldn't make it, relapse, etc. 20 hours later, no withdrawal, no memory of craving the drug, completely clear, clean of it. It was a friggin' miracle. You can go on the internet, find it, and trace it. It's illegal in 4 countries: Belgium, Switzerland, U.S., and Sweden. They have underground treatment centers in Jacksonville, New York City, Houston. They have over-the-ground treatment centers in Tijuana, Toronto. So since I included this chapter in my book, without exaggeration, 25 times people have come up to me publicly and said, Mr. Galbraith, thank you for saving my son's life. Thank you for saving my granddaughter's life. Thank you for saving my father's life. And we called the number, he got referred to, we got into the underground. He's completely clean and clear now. No memory of craving the drug. So I'm offering you this one opportunity. I can't say that you are going to be able to follow it all the way through, but I do know that if you, and this may not be the way that you get to what it is that you're looking for once you read this stuff, but you can get on the internet and you can find out a lot about it. There's a push on to get it legal. There's a push on to keep it illegal. You can probably imagine who's trying to keep it illegal. Pharmaceutical companies. Okay? Stay off those pills, folks. They're deadly and they know it. Stay off those pills. They are absolute murder. OxyContin is absolute scourge of the earth. It's the pharmaceutical companies, people responsible for it. Another thing I want to do as governor is I want to sue the pharmaceutical companies and make them come up with about $500 million in drug treatment programs in the state. They're responsible, just like tobacco companies had to come up with tobacco cessation. I brought that up in the last governor's race. They said, Galbraith, you're crazy. I said, no, we ought to make them put up $500 million. They said, Galbraith, you're crazy. It's those druggies are a problem. They're misusing this drug out here, and $500 million is ridiculous. I said, okay. 1 week before the election last time, the chief financial officer, the chief scientific officer, and the chief executive officer of Purdue Pharma, who created OxyContin, pled guilty in the Virginia United States District Court to falsifying documents given to the FDA, lying to the FDA, lying to government officials and regulators, and lying to their pharmaceutical representatives when they sent them out to sell OxyContin. Falsified the scientific documents. Absolutely lied to them. They got their felony counts down to misdemeanors and had to do some probated time. Their company got fined $676 million in criminal fines in Virginia court. We should have had that money in the state of Kentucky as civil fines for drug treatment programs. I still want to go after them and the rest of these people who know what it is they're doing. For less than a penny a tablet, they could have created OxyContin so you can't crush it up and store it. Less than a penny a tablet. They knew what they were doing. So it's a jungle out there. You young folks, it's a jungle out there. Don't trust any of these people. Yeah, I'm talking about going through life paranoid. Go through life as a warrior. Get educated. Find out what's happening to you out there. It's goddamn, it's worth every penny it costs you to work for yourself. You know? You can be independent as much as you can. It's nice to work as a team, it's nice to work as a village. But you know, I see people doing other people all the time. Criminal defense and all that. You know, you're lucky if you got a mommy and daddy who still love you. If they're still living in your yard, go home tonight and call them and forgive them for everything they ever did to you and ask their forgiveness for you. It's a great burden off your heart.
Amen, Gatewood.
It's true. It's true. You would be surprised just how much better you feel if you went home tonight. I don't care if they're alive or dead. If they're dead, you still speak it out loud, you know. Ask their forgiveness and tell them you forgive them. It's unbelievable what it does for the soul. But I'm here politicking. I'm not here to preach to you. So that's all that I have to say. I've probably told you more than I know. But I've got this book down here, and I'd be glad to give each of you a copy if you want. Thanks very much for having me.